Should there be student loan debt? I want to hear from you. 217-629-7970. A lot of student loan debt out there. Should there be? President Joe Biden might forgive some student loan debt, but not all of it. Republicans seem to oppose the idea of canceling student loans, while Democrats want all student loans canceled. Which should it be? 217-629-7970. I'd love to hear your thoughts here at Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. So President Joe Biden expected to make an announcement today. It'll be widely covered. It could be upwards to $10,000 of student loan forgiveness per debt borrower, according to some reports that are out there. So polls are showing that most Americans don't like this idea, and there's a variety of reasons as to why. Got full phone lines right now. Let's go ahead and get into it at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Morning, Greg. I'm trying to figure out how it makes sense to make people who didn't go to college pay for other people who did go to college.
You know, there's this clip that I want to play here. It's about 40 seconds long. It's from 2020, and I think it really encapsulates what exactly you're getting at here. So bear with me. Again, about 45 seconds long. It's somebody going up to U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren in 2020 talking about the question of student loan forgiveness.
I was hoping to teach us well. Yeah. I'm on Medicare. I'm having Yep.
I just want to ask one question. My daughter's getting out of school. I saved all my money. She doesn't have any student loan. Am I going to get my money back? So you're going to pay for people who didn't save any money, and those of us who did the right thing get screwed.
No, it's not even that screwed.
Of course we did. My buddy had fun, bought a car, went on vacations, and I saved my money. He made more than I did. But I worked a double shift, worked extra. My daughter's worksheet is 10. So you're laughing, get screwed. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. We did the right thing, and we get screwed.
I appreciate that.
So, again, you can kind of hear that, right? The idea of this guy, he saved for his daughter's education and paid for it up front, while his buddy went on vacations, bought cars, and all of that. And his buddy's child could possibly get their student loan debt forgiven.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous. I have 2 kids in school right now, and we cash flow their education. Since they were kids, we put money away for it. So are they going to refund my money too?
I don't think that's part of the plan, but we shall see. Appreciate the call. 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, good morning, Greg.
Hey.
There absolutely should be no forgiveness. It's not fair, as has been pointed out, for the people who did the right thing, myself included. I had some loans when I was finishing up school, and when I had extra money, I got them paid off, and it wasn't very much. But the other thing is, what's this teach young people? It basically teaches them that you can take out debt and you don't have to worry about it. If you whine loud enough to the government, that they'll forgive it all for you. I question even whether this is even legal, too. So,
well, and that's something that Nancy Pelosi back in April questioned as well when she was asked about the idea of student loan forgiveness coming from an executive action. Here's Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, talking to that.
People think that the President of the United States, is this more on the subject than you ever want to know? Will you let me know? People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
So is this going to be an act of Congress? Who knows? I want to hear from you, though. 217-629-7970 is the phone number. Your thoughts on the president's set to announce some kind of student loan debt forgiveness this morning. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning. I agree with that other guy, though, what it teaches our younger children. But I think what it truly is that the Democrats are trying to buy votes with taxpayer dollars, including the illegal immigration where they come across illegally, get health care. When I myself, working 2 jobs, had no health care, I made too much for Obamacare, paid the fine, and yet somebody who's never contributed to our country's Social Security at all gets full medical coverage. It's just ridiculous. They're just trying to buy votes and please the people so that they're favored at election time.
Yeah, and that seems to be a thought that a lot of people are having out there as we've got now, 76 days or something before the November election, and this announcement comes out. And listen, I mean, students have not had to pay their student loans all COVID, all right? It's been going on now for more than 2.5 years where student loan payments have been essentially deferred, and I think payments are set to start back up at the end of this month. So that's something else that's playing into this. But you've also got other programs out there. There's the Public Loan Student Forgiveness Program, which forgives student loans for people who work in nonprofit spaces, and you have to make like 10 years worth of payments in order to be eligible for that. That's something that's in place right now. It's already law. People are taking advantage of it. From my understanding, it's a cluster though, with bureaucracy doing what bureaucracy does and slowing things down. But that is one option that's out there already. But this apparently is going to be a broad swath of people getting upwards to $10,000 of their student loan debt forgiven. There is hundreds of billions of dollars of student loan debt out there. What are the implications here? And what's it going to do to inflation? How is this going to add to the ongoing impacts of inflation, including the cost of college? Because one thing that student loans have done is it essentially gave a blank check to colleges saying, all right, the federal government's going to back all these student loans. Let's go ahead and charge these kids for college. And then they charge the kids for college. They may inflate the prices saying, hey, you got a loan here. There you go. So that all feeds into this ecosystem of increased education costs. But what are your thoughts? Should the president announce the student loan debt forgiveness of up to $10,000, or should they not approach this at all? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning, Greg. Well, there's the economics of economics, and then there's the economics of votes. If I'm elected, what I'm going to do is cancel all residential mortgages.
Oh, yeah.
If you paid off your house, tough luck. And if you chose to rent, tough luck. But I'm just going to cancel residential mortgages because I figure that's going to get me elected, and
that's an
the
interesting
game
platform.
we're in right now.
Yeah, that's an interesting platform. We'll see if that gets you into the office. 217-629-7970 is the phone number. Let's hear from more of you out there. You can also email, or you can message me via text or Facebook as well. Facebook's probably a really good place to reach out and connect. Sometimes the text messages are a little bit delayed. So let's get to the calls. Good morning. You're on WMAY. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop. Your thoughts on student loan debt forgiveness?
Hey, Greg. Good morning. Hey,
Morning.
I already got my $10,000 this year. It's called overtime. I mean,
yeah, you're working your butt off,
Yes.
right? You're out there working your butt off to pay off your debts.
Exactly. I have two kids that went through college. They paid their own way. One's a nurse, and the other one is early childhood development.
Yeah.
Grad.
And if they paid their own way and they don't have debt, they may feel left out of this, and they will be left out of it because they don't have any debt. Hey, I appreciate the call. 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, good morning, Greg.
Hey,
why not just do something like get rid of the interest? That alone would save, thousands upon thousands of dollars to these kids that do have to pay it off. And I'm not, heartless, but at the same time, my kid paid theirs off.
Yeah, the interest, and that's a good conversation I think can be had, is addressing the interest. Something else I think needs to happen here is the universities need to be held liable. For, if their student does not graduate, all right, and does not get into a field that's going to pay well, then should the university be more on the hook here? Because obviously the product that they were offering, the education they were offering for whatever, gender studies, it's not producing a person who's going to go off and make six-figure incomes.
Yeah, like left-handed basket weaving or whatever it is, the old story for sure. Have a good day, bud.
Appreciate the calls, 217-629-7970. Guys, I got full phone lines. We'll get to them, I promise. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning, Greg. And the big promise is that they're going to make more than the average person if you complete your studies.
Yep.
So, then let them pay for it, I mean, why should I pay for someone? I didn't go to college. Why should I pay for someone who went to college and they're going to turn around and make more than me in the long run? No, I don't feel sorry for any of them. And, yeah, I do believe that the schools do bear a little responsibility in over-teaching certain studies and just taking the money and don't care about the outcome at the end of the student once they're out.
Yeah, because the student cannot declare bankruptcy and get out from underneath that debt. That's something else that's part of this equation. We'll take one more call here. Good morning. You're on WMAY. Should student loans be forgiven or should the debt be just wiped away? The president's expected to talk about that today, possibly up to $10,000 of student loan forgiveness per borrower. Your thoughts?
They need to make these bankruptable. Then these colleges are predatory, and since they've been protected from bankruptcy, tuition costs have skyrocketed. So if they're preying on these kids, signing up for loans, giving them the whole sales pitch, it reads great on paper, and then the kids, it doesn't pan out. They don't make all this big money, and they're saddled with this stuff. So make it bankruptable. If these kids make a dumb choice and they have to go into bankruptcy, and then the colleges don't get paid, it washes itself out.
Yeah, but I think the colleges are getting paid up front, right? Because the student gets the student loan money. They then pay their tuition. They pay their books. They pay their fees. They may even pay for the dorm that they're staying on at the university. So the university's got their money.
Yeah, but at some point, this isn't going to – less kids would get money if these were bankruptable, which would amount to less kids getting into college, which would ultimately hurt the university. If these become bankruptable, they're going to be a hell of a lot more careful about who they give these loans to.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. So yeah, interesting conversation. Appreciate everybody chiming in here with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News.